Chapter 4 Singing Bird and Yellow Hair. Miss Winston stopped next to Kirsten's seat and tapped the back of the log bench with her ruler. "I don't believe you're really trying," the teacher scolded. "Why can't you learn your poem?" Kirsten bit her lip. I am trying, ma'am," she said. "Please look at me when I speak to you," Miss Winston said. Kirsten forced herself to look up. She thought that if Miss Winston didn't look so stern, she would be very pretty. "Can you read the words of your poem?" Miss Winston asked. She pointed to the lines which Kirsten had been trying all week to memorize. I can read the words, but I don't remember them," Kirsten murmured. "Your cousin Lisbeth recited all 32 lines of To a Waterfowl. I'm only asking you to memorize these few lines. Your memory is like a muscle, Kirsten. You must use it to make it strong." Kirsten nodded unhappily. Her poor mind felt like a tired muscle. When she tried to say her poem without looking at the books, the words seemed to disappear like geese flying into the mist. It seemed everyone could memorize and recite except Kirsten. Amos Anderson had learned a whole poem. He recited it with his voice galloping along like the horses and the battle he described. Miss Winston had smiled proudly and handed him a reward of merit. Kirsten thought that Miss Winston was proud of everyone but her. "You must try harder," Miss Winston said firmly. "If at first you don't succeed, try again." Kirsten thought that even if she could memorize her poem, she was sure to forget it when she stood up in front of the class. If she forgot, she might cry. That would be the worst thing of all. The next morning, Kirsten got up extra early and rushed through her chores. "Why are you in such a hurry?" Mama asked. She put out several thin pancakes and a slice of ham for Kirsten's breakfast. Kirsten wrapped the ham in a pancake. "I'll eat them on my way to school. I'm going early to practice saying my verse." "You've learned a verse in English? Oh, you're a smart girl, Kirsten," Mama said with a big smile. "Go on, then, if you're doing schoolwork," Papa said. Kirsten ran to the door. "Tell Lisbeth and Anna I'm practicing. I'll meet them at school," she said. She knew it was wrong to lie to Mama and Papa, but she couldn't help herself. As she ran to meet Singing Bird, she tried to say her poem so the lie wouldn't be such a bad one. As soon as she heard Singing Bird whistle, Kirsten forgot all about her poem and her lie. She handed Singing Bird the pancake and meat, and the girl ate gladly. Then Singing Bird said, "Come." Kirsten ran behind Singing Bird through the whole pale prairie grass. Crows flew up beside them, and rabbits scattered. Kirsten didn't even care how far they had to run. She was glad to be free from school, glad to be on this adventure with Singing Bird. They They ran through a grove of pines, then up the trail to the top of the hill. Down below, 5 big Indian teepees circled a large campfire. Nearby, spotted ponies grazed. As the girls started down the hill to the village, scrawny Indian dogs ran barking to meet them. The Indian children came from teepees. They spoke to Singing Bird in their language. The children crowded around and wanted to touch Kirsten's blonde hair. One little boy crouched to touch her leather boots and their laces. Indian woman came forward to look at Kirsten's apron too. Their dark hands were gentle. Singing Bird stood close by Kirsten's side. Then she said, come to my father," and pointed to the tallest teepee. Kirsten followed Singing Bird to the teepee. It was made of buffalo skins. Singing Bird lifted the flap that was its door. Inside, the teepee was dim and warm. When Kirsten's eyes adjusted to the gloom, she saw a man sitting cross-legged on a bearskin. Eagle feathers were braided into his hair, and he wore a necklace of bear claws.
"I am Brave Elk,"
he said in a deep voice. "How do you do?" Kirsten said, remembering to curtsy.
You are Singing Bird's friend,"
he said. "Yes," Kirsten said. She touched Singing Bird's arms to make sure she was at her side. "Singing Bird is my friend too."
You teach your English words to Singing Bird,"
Brave Elk said. "My English words?" That surprised Kirsten, but she thought Brave Elk was right. She hadn't once thought of trying to speak English with Singing. She hadn't once thought of trying to speak Swedish with Singing Bird. "Singing Bird teaches me too," Kirsten went on. "Teepee, moccasin." She pointed to those things to show Brave Elk she knew what she said in his language. The chief nodded.
"Good. You are Yellow Hair. You are welcome here. You stay,"
he said. He motioned to the woman who stood in the shadow. The woman gave Kirsten a piece of flat bread made of cornmeal. Now Singing Bird led Kirsten to sit beside her on a pile of animal skins. She showed Kirsten her leather pouch, which held a knife, a bone needle, and a length of sinew for sewing. She showed Kirsten her doll, which she made out of soft buckskin and stuffed with grass. Oh, how Kirsten wished she could live here in this warm tent with Singing Bird. She would wear soft moccasins like Singing Bird's. She would wear a deerskin dress and leggings. She would sleep under warm buffalo hides and play with little buckskin dolls of her own. All day, she and Singing Bird would play in the fields and woods, instead of Kirsten Larson, who couldn't memorize her poem. She would be Yellow Hair, Singing Bird's sister. A little boy came into the teepee to show Kirsten his wooden top. When he lifted the tent flap, Kirsten saw that the sun had risen high into the sky. She would have to run fast in order to get to school on time. She touched Singing Bird's arm and pointed to the sun. The girl said something to her father, and she held open the flap. "Come," she said to Kirsten, and they ran back up the trail.